sailing for me is a simple thing. So I like to feel small. I think that we live in a world right now where it's really easy to get caught up in the things we do every day, and where it's really easy to start thinking that things are much more important than they really actually are. And I like to be on a big ocean in a small boat and reminded that there are things that are much bigger than I am. You?
For me, sailing is something that we do together. This is our 5th boat, and we have a ragtag collection of friends who come with us, and it's about having somewhere to have that connection and do something together. And we spent a lot of time sitting at the helm together, just playing games.
We played a lot of Yahtzee.
So much Yahtzee, all the Yahtzee. Things like that. We love to be together, and sailing gives us the perfect opportunity to do that.
Went to the Annapolis Boat Show, and we were on the train headed down to Annapolis, and we were talking. We were actually there to outfit a boat we already had so that we could head to the Caribbean. And on the way down, she looked at me and she said, "Oh, there's going to be all these great boats there. Do you think we'd ever build a new boat?" And I didn't even hesitate. I said, "Absolutely not." And the reason I said that was because the reason I said that was because in all the years that I've been to boat shows, and I've been sailing my whole life, I have never been on board a catamaran that I thought was strong enough, that was thought out well enough, that was organized the way that I would want to see a boat organized. So it never felt to me like there was one out there that was worth the money and effort that it would take to build one. And then we got to the show, and there was this manufacturer we'd never heard of, Vision, and we stepped aboard, and I don't think we said even a word to each other on that first walkthrough, and we got off the boat, and she looked at me and said, "Did we just step aboard our next boat?" And I said, "Oh man, I really think we did, because if I had sat down at a drafting table after a lifetime of sailing experience and started drawing out what I thought needed to be on a boat to be strong, to be safe, to be fast, to be laid out in a way that made sailing a joy, this is what I would have designed. And that nav station, all of it, this is what I would have designed." So, sorry.
It's okay.
But I'm passionate about this boat.
For us, I started making appointments to get aboard boats. The show was in October. I started reaching out to manufacturers in July who probably thought I was super annoying for making appointments in July. And for some reason, I just kept missing Vision. We were just kind of emailing like this. And we walked by it and we just said, "Oh, what the heck, let's just go aboard and check it out." And we went aboard that boat so many times over the course of 3 days that the broker, Tommy, started to say, "Again? You're back again?" And that was the only boat we've crawled around, I don't know how, hundreds of boats.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We're kind of boat show nerds, so we go to a lot of them, and it's fun for us. But stepping aboard a Vision felt different.
It did. It's a life-changing thing for us. At least a sailing career-changing thing for us.
Yeah, and I can't quite put my finger on what felt different. All the things that Todd said about, I felt safe. I felt like things were where they ought to be.
Nothing creaks. It doesn't matter what you step on. Yeah. Nothing creaks. Everything is solid in a way that you don't ever see on a catamaran. It's that simple.
One of the biggies for me was we sail with our 2 dogs, and they're young, and whenever I'm at the helm, I'm sailing along and I'm constantly, there's one, there's two, there's one, there's two. I'm always checking. On the Vision, you can slide in a door at the sugar scoops, and it's really designed to keep waves from splashing in, but I think it's more for our purpose to keep the dogs in, and that's really important for me to, one less thing to be paranoid about, right? But on the Vision, I don't feel paranoid about a lot of things. Well, we named it Reimagine because we wanted to reimagine our life. We're both still working. A lot of the people who have bought these boats that we've heard from are either retiring or they've sold their home and they're going to raise their families aboard and things like that. We're still working. But we wanted to change the way we live and not just live in our house in Rhode Island and go to work and come home and go to work and come home. So with Starlink, we're now able to work remotely and travel while we work. And our plan is to be in Rhode Island with our friends and family in the summer, and then in the winter go somewhere warmer and go back and forth. And of course have the dogs with us doing all of that as well.
Yeah, the magic word really is reimagine. My whole career has been spent doing that. I meet with companies that have been doing the same thing the same way, sometimes for more than 100 years. Some of my clients are over 100 years old, and they ask me to help them figure out new ways to engage in a modern world, in a modern marketplace. And so, seeing the world as it could be is part of who I am. And interestingly enough, it's part of who James Turner, the founder of Vision, is. James is very much the same way. He's a kindred soul. And so when I think about my plans for the boat, it's very, very simple for me. Yes, we will be in the Caribbean in the winter. We will be in New England in the summer. But there's a reason this boat is bright yellow. This boat is designed to connect people together. I want people to see the boat and come over and ask questions. I want it to be a conversation piece. They may love the color, they may hate the color, they may love the design, they may hate, I don't know, who knows, right? Everybody's different, but at least they'll be talking about it. And even down to how we designed the Wi-Fi system on this boat. Yes, we put Starlink on the boat. I'm a technology guy. There is a huge antenna on the back of this boat that broadcasts Starlink. And when you are in an anchorage, if you're ever in an anchorage near us, you're gonna see a big Wi-Fi network that's going to say Reimagine free Starlink. And when you click on it and you connect to it, there'll be a photo of our boat that comes up, and it's going to ask you for a password, and it will say stop by with a story or a cold beverage for the password. And that's how we meet people in an anchorage.
And that's how we get roofied.
Yeah. This is how we meet people, and that's the whole point for us. To me, it's about finding new ways to create community, and this boat is one of the ways I plan to do that.
So just a few moments before Shelley started, doing this interview with us, the last of the crew left. Aletta and Benny and Hamish and Jamie. I did not expect that I would get tears in my eyes, as I'm already getting it again. The connection I felt to the people at the factory. We just got back from hosting a lunch for them, and we brought t-shirts to them, and they immediately put them all on, and we took selfies with them, and even the community of the other owners as well. There's a Facebook group, and everybody's chiming in and really helpful, and I joke that it's the coolest cult I've ever joined, but it is, and I haven't ever joined a cult before, but if there's a cult to join, it's this one. It's really great.
Yeah, I think for me, like I said, when I first stepped aboard this boat, I genuinely had that moment of, wow, if I had designed a boat, this is what I would have designed. But it's so much more than that. I think people go sometimes to a boat show expecting to buy a boat, a product. If you buy a vision, you're not buying a boat. You're buying lifetimes of combined experience, generation upon generation of boat building skill. You're buying into craftsmanship that I think is getting lost today in modern production methods. When everything is mass produced, when everything is done through automated systems, and I am in the business of automating some things, I do think that care and craftsmanship and humanity can be lost. It is very much alive and vibrant at Vision in ways I would never have expected. Early in the process, I felt like I needed to, start thinking about, do we want to change that? Do we want to do this? The smartest thing I could have done, and that I think I did do, was get out of the way and let the team at Vision do the thing that they do best. Because we are getting ready to depart in Eisner tomorrow, quite sadly. But even as we stood on the aft deck a few minutes ago and the commissioning team was preparing to leave the boat, the last things they were saying were, next week we're coming down to do this, and I didn't like this little bit of finish, I want to have that polished. Things I didn't notice and probably would never notice, that for these guys are at the heart and soul of what they do. Today is Thanksgiving in the United States, and we were just at the factory and had lunch with the entire crew at the factory. And you asked about things I wasn't expecting. I wanted to take a photo with the crew. I did not expect that almost every one of that 170 people were going to come up to me and want to take photos with me.
I feel like a supermodel.
They are proud of what they do in a way that you just do not see anymore in modern times. And I can't imagine a world in which you would want to trust the thing that you're going to put your life into to anything else. It's just way beyond expectation.
It's overwhelming. Like when we visited the factory in June, and to see them all just endlessly sanding and sanding and sanding, and nothing. It's never good enough. It seems like I was watching them, and they never finished.
Oh yeah, they stop. Then they look at it from this way. They look at it from that. And touch it again. They really want it to reflect their pride, and it does. It absolutely does.
Yeah, we put on the back of the T-shirts that we gave to them. We put Vision 444 built with pride, and that's 100% true. That I definitely get that vibe when I'm at the factory.